All right, would you stand for the reading of God's Word as it is found in Isaiah 40? Picking up with verse 27. Why do you say, O Jacob, and complain, O Israel? My way is hidden from the Lord. My cause is disregarded. Oh my God, do you not know? Have you not heard? The Lord is an everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths grow tired and weary. Young men stumble and fall. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Father, for that promise, for your word, which is so precious to us, for the way you have blessed us in revealing to us your plan for our lives, we thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen. You see it.
Amen.
All right. Today we're going to be talking about eagles.
Yes.
You know that better than 25 different countries have an eagle as their bird of choice. You realize that there are 60 varieties of eagles. I had no idea until I did my research. When they build a nest, they continue to build year after year, and sometimes the nest will weigh 2 tons. That's staggering. And will be 8 feet across and 15 feet deep. They have pretty good eyesight. They can see a rabbit, and it blends in with the terrain 2 miles away. And you say, well, preacher, what in the world are you telling us all that stuff for? One simple reason. From the eagle this morning, we will learn how to be a great father. For number one, first of all, for the eagle, family is its priority. It spends hours and hours and hours building a home for the eaglets. Starting out with limbs sometimes over 4 feet long, and then smaller limbs, and then twigs, and then the pelts of the animals they have killed. And then they will pull down from their own bodies to line the nest. Because they believe the most important thing they have to do is provide for the family. And listen carefully. I've never heard of a man retiring saying, I wish I'd spent more time at work. I have heard many say, I wish I had spent more time with my children. And I thank God that I was raised in a Christian home where the parents spent a lot of time with us. My mama was one of the most dignified ladies you've ever seen in your life, except when she was fishing. And when she would catch a fish, she'd, and I'm telling you, she lost all the dignity. And Daddy and I, when hunting season came, got together with all the uncles, got on the Withlacoochee River, and a really fine boat, about 8 feet or 9 feet long, with an Elgin engine. They don't make those anymore, do they? 6 horse. And we'd have all the camp stuff in that thing, and it was about to sink, and it would be so cold. And as I look back, I wondered why I did that, but I really loved it. I remember we used to go on vacation every year. It was very important that we would have a family vacation. I remember Daddy and Mama were always at all the events where we would receive any awards or anything. And our best time together was worshiping together. Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, as a family. And I told you before, it was so important that our dog Bouncer, when he heard the Coleman bell ring, would head for church because he knew where we were going to be. I hear people say, you know, I don't go on Sunday night because I have family time. That was some of our family time. Worshiping the Lord together. Amen. And I read something this week I think very, very interesting on that. It goes, he came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. And he was talking before I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm going to be like you, Dad. I'm going to be just like you. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad. Come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And he walked away. His smile never dimmed. It was, I'm going to be like him. I'm going to be just like him. When he came from college just the other day, so much like a man, I had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later. Can I have them, please? I've long since retired. My son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I could find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle. Kids have the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been nice talking to you. As I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up to be just like me. You realize, according to the studies, the average father will give less than 10 minutes a day of undivided attention to his child. I want you to know we're living in a time when Satan has a contract out on the children.
Amen. Amen.
And we need to be very, very careful that we pour our lives into them.
Amen.
And that they know how much we love them, not by the stuff we give to them, but the time we spend with them.
Amen.
Secondly, fidelity is their privilege. When an eagle mates, they will never mate with another eagle.
Yep.
They are committed for life. And few things are more important than a stable marriage for the children.
Yes, amen.
Now, there are times when this is impossible because it takes two.
Amen.
And sometimes a mate will make it impossible. But you need to do all you can do, even if that happens, to provide stability. Let your children know how much you love your mate. My wife and I, how many days now? It's 19th, whenever it is.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Would have been married 56 years. And we're more in love now than ever. She became a prayer warrior having to live with me. But stability is so, so, so important. But thirdly, focus is their protection. You may think that the eagle does not know what's going on in the nest when they're gone. But they know. As I said, they can see a rabbit 2 miles away. And they keep focused on that nest because they know the enemy can come.
Amen.
And I remember Mom and Daddy, when we had parties, Mom and Daddy would always have them at our home because they want to know who we were associating with and who we spent our time with, because listen carefully. There are 3 enemies you need to watch out for your children. Their peers, their peers, and their peers.
Amen. Preach it.
They can have more influence in 1 hour than you have in 1 week.
Yeah.
Look at Adam and Eve. God created them. He provided paradise for them. Everything they could possibly want. Fellowship with them. Gave time to them. Warned them about the dangers. But one evil influence took them away. And in our day, the same thing can happen. I'm very, very aware of that, having pastored Leesburg for 30 years, and having seen multiple ministries begin and continue. And we had a number of people in our drug center, not mean people, not bad people, but people who came under the influence of people who led them astray, and they too made stupid choices that virtually destroyed their lives. It wasn't a lack of money. We had one fellow there who had inherited $250,000. And in 1 year, he went through all of it in drugs. We had a lady in our women's shelter who'd gotten $500,000. I don't know how you could possibly go through that in 2 years' time. But she was there destitute. Our friends in Zephyr Hills, godly people, took their children to church every Sunday morning and Sunday night and Wednesday night, spent time with them, provided for them, but did not know that a friend had gotten their daughter involved in drugs and did not even know it for months. Somehow she'd kept it hidden. And I want you to know it virtually destroyed her. Make sure you know what's going on. Both of our sons graduated from the University of Florida. And when the younger son went up there, Chuck, our older son, said to him, "Remember this, Carrie, Daddy knows." And Daddy did know. I've meddled in everything. I listened to everything going on. I'd read their mail. Because I've had enough experience to know the devil's work can begin without you even knowing it. We're living in a time when literally thousands and thousands and thousands of kids are drowning in drugs. Three boys came upon an ingenious plan to get the drugs over the border. They put the drugs in balloons, tied them, swallowed them, and they were going to throw them up when they got on the other side. That's before the dogs. I guess the dogs could have sensed that. They got to the other side, and the boy in the back seat started screaming. The balloon had perforated, and whatever the drug was went full strength into his system. And in a short time, he was dead. True story. They pulled off beside the road in a place where no one would see them. They cut their friend open, got the other balloons out, and went on their way. Years ago, one of our presidents came up with a program, Say No to Drugs. Had an outstanding speaker, a young man that would go to various schools. He would go to school and he'd point out, young man, come up on the platform. The young man would. And he said to him, take all your clothes off. Boy said, I'm not going to do it. He said, I represent the President of the United States. By my authority, I command you. Take them off. He said, I don't care what you say, I'm not taking them off. He said, here's $100 bill. I'll give you that if you take it. He said, I don't give you $1,000. I'm not taking the clothes off. And then he said, young people, what do you think you ought to do? You know young people. Take them off, take them off, take them off. He said, not going to do it. And then man would say, you said no very clearly to authority. You said no to money. You said no to peer pressure. Now make sure you say no to drugs.
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
That is profound.
Yes.
Furthermore, and this is shocking to some of you, you need to know what they're being taught in school.
Yes.
It's not bad to go and just sit in on a class. Out at our Leesburg Community College, years ago, there was an atheist. And he advocated atheism in the class. I would not have my kids sitting under him. In fact, our youngest son, Kerry, is a Christian apologist, and he will go to a church and meet with all of the young people who are about to go to college and give them boot camp for a week, preparing them for what's coming. And that's exactly what we need to be doing, is be very, very careful. And then freedom is their purpose. I thought there'd be a nest full of eggs. There's only about 3 or 4. And the first one born usually kills the rest of them. And I guess it's selection of the fittest because the parents don't mess with that. But then it comes time for that one or those left to leave the nest. And so the eagle takes all of the down out, takes all of the fur out, and leaves only the prickly sticks. Then he will pick the eaglet up and go up thousands of feet and turn it loose. And I mean, it's coming down and it doesn't know how to fly and it doesn't know what's going to happen. And just before it hits the ground, it will fly under and catch the eaglet on its everlasting wings and carries it back up again and again. Because there comes a time when the kid needs to leave the nest. One lady had a husband who had never really mentally left the nest. So she sent him home to Mama with a note pinned to him. Here's your son, just like I got him. You can have him. And then wrote, P.S. He eats most anything provided it's like you fix it. There comes a time when we need to let them stand on their own feet.
Amen.
Like their own, you have poured your life into them. You've watched out for them. You've provided for them. You still love them. You love them with all your heart. But there comes a time you have to let them loose. Sometimes they'll make some really stupid decisions. But we have too. Have we not? And but by the grace of God, we've come through. Therefore, I would say to you, well, by the way, Ben Franklin suggested that the national bird for America ought to be a turkey. I think that'd be very appropriate today. We need to recognize that we can learn a lot from the eagle. Family must be our first priority. Number two, fidelity is our privilege. Number three, focus is our protection. See what's going on. Last of all, freedom is our purpose. Every about. Every eye closed, every Christian praying. The most important decision you can ever make in being the father you ought to be, or the mother you ought to be, or the person you ought to be, is to give your life to Jesus Christ. He's the only one who can give us the wisdom to know what to do with the children He has given us.
Amen.
And may I say, grandchildren. If you're here and do not know Christ, but would like to know Him, will you pray these words with me, silent as I lead you? Lord Jesus, I've known for a long time that you love me. You died on the cross for me. I don't know why I waited, but today I wait no longer. I want to become a Christian. Take my life. You can do more with it than I can. Thank you for loving me, for hearing my prayer, for saving me. Head still bowed. If you prayed that and invited Jesus to become your Savior this morning, would you stick your hand up wherever you are? Anyone this morning? If you're thinking about coming into our church by letter, by statement of baptism, would you slip your hand up wherever you are? Because we would love to have you. Father, I pray that those who need to come will now, in the name of Jesus. Amen. As we stand, as we sing, if you want to make your stand for Christ, come. If you want to come into our fellowship, come as we sing. Call Sunday nights off too much.
Amen. Amen.
I think we call Sunday nights off too much.
Amen.
Thank you. So Andrew doesn't. So we need to say, okay, we're going to cut out one or two a year, but not as many as we do.
Amen.
All right. Now next Sunday, Lord willing, I'm going to be in Mississippi and revival. And you're going to be blessed with one of the greatest preachers in the land, St. Andrew. And I want y'all each to bring an extra person with you, because I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will be blessed. Now, how long is it before the 4th of July after that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? 4th of July, I'm going to preach a sermon entitled, "The Day Abraham Lincoln Became a Christian." You say, why would you preach on that? Because I want to. But not only that, he climbed 3 mountains in his lifetime. Moses, when he learned the law of God. Elijah, when he learned probably the care of God. But even though he climbed those, he didn't become a Christian until he climbed Calvary with Jesus. So it's going to be an interesting approach, but a lot of people need to understand that just because you know the law and providence of care doesn't mean you know the Lord. All right. See, Paul.
Take the hand of the person next to you. Let's sing together, I am blessed.